It started with little things. It always does. A new perfume. Subtle, floral, not the one I bought her for our anniversary. She said it was a gift from a coworker. I shrugged. Okay. Then came the late nights. Client meetings, deadlines, last-minute reports. I work in finance. I know how the grind goes. But she's in HR. How many urgent HR meetings can there really be at 9:45 p.m.? Next, the phone. Always face down. Notifications silenced. The password changed twice. She brushed it off, said she updated it because I kept forgetting mine and using hers. Cute. Real cute. I'm not paranoid. I'm the guy who gives people the benefit of the doubt long after he should have stopped. But even I have limits. And lately, I'd been feeling like a guest in my own marriage. We used to talk about everything, from what kind of kitchen we wanted in our dream house, to which dog breed we'd adopt once we settled down. Now we barely talked at all. I'd ask how her day went. Fine, she'd say, scrolling. I'd ask if she wanted to do something this weekend. We'll see. Without looking up. You know that moment in a movie where the music drops out and everything gets still? That moment where you know something's coming, even if no one says it? That was our house for the last few months. Quiet. Too quiet. And then one Saturday morning, she sat me down. She looked nervous. Couldn't hold eye contact. Kept fiddling with the sleeve of her sweater like she was trying to buy herself time. I have something to tell you, she said, barely above a whisper. My stomach dropped. I already knew. I didn't know what, but I knew. Then she said it. I'm pregnant. Silence. And in that silence, 100 thoughts sprinted through my head. We hadn't been, you know, in weeks. Maybe months. We were trying, once. But not lately. And I hadn't heard a single word about tracking ovulation or testing or anything. It came out of nowhere. Or maybe it didn't. I stared at her. Not the way a man looks at the woman he loves. More like how a detective looks at a suspect who's already told one too many lies. I nodded slowly. Congratulations, I said flatly. Who's the father? She froze. Not like in the movies where someone gasps and starts crying or screaming. No, she just stopped. Like her whole system crashed for a second. What? She finally whispered. I leaned back in the chair, folded my arms. My heart wasn't racing. My hands didn't shake. It was like I'd already gone numb. You heard me. Her eyes darted away, like she was looking for an exit. There wasn't one. Oleg, what are you talking about? You're the father. Now that made me laugh. Not loud, not crazy. Just one of those short, bitter laughs you let out when someone insults your intelligence. Really? I asked. You want to go with that? She stood up suddenly, as if height would help her case. We've been together for years. You're my husband, for God's sake. Why would you even? Because we haven't slept together in almost 2 months. I cut her off. And because I know. Her mouth opened, then shut. She sat back down. Her shoulders slumped, like the weight of her own bullshit was finally pressing down. Who is it? I asked, quieter this time. Silence. Lena. Don't. Who is it? Her lip trembled. And then, barely audible. Slavko. Boom. I didn't move. Didn't flinch. Just sat there, like I'd been expecting that exact name. Because deep down, I had. My best friend. My brother in everything but blood. The guy who stood beside me at the wedding, toasted our forever. The guy who knew all my stories, all my scars. Her hand shot up to cover her face, but it was too late. How long? I asked. She shook her head, mumbling through her fingers. I don't know. A few months. A few months. I nodded slowly. And the baby? She didn't answer. Didn't have to. I stood up, walked to the door. Where are you going? She asked, voice small, like it ever mattered. To think, I said. And this time, I didn't come back with takeout. I came back with a plan. Funny thing about betrayal, it doesn't always hit like a punch to the face. Sometimes it's quieter. Like a pressure in your chest that just won't go away. You breathe through it, move through it, talk through it, but it's always there. That's where I was. 3 days passed after she told me. I didn't leave town. I didn't even leave the apartment for long. I wanted her to think maybe, just maybe, I was calming down. I wasn't. I was planning. See, there's this thing that happens when someone thinks they've broken you, they stop watching their back. They think you're done, that you're too hurt to fight. But I wasn't hurt anymore. I was focused. The first night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch, staring at the ceiling while she cried in the bedroom. I wasn't going to comfort her. That wasn't my job anymore. I started thinking about all the little things I'd ignored. The times Slavko would come by. Just to hang out. The way she laughed at his dumb jokes harder than she ever did at mine. The inside jokes they had. How she started dressing up more, even when we were just going to the store. How I'd invited him into my home. Fed him. Trusted him. God, I was a fool. But not anymore. Day 2, I went to the office like everything was normal. She asked if I wanted coffee before I left. No, thanks, I said. I'm good. At work, I wasn't worth much. Numbers swam in front of me. Deadlines? Who cared? But there was one email I needed to send. I booked an appointment with a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, the best divorce lawyer in the city. The kind that makes grown men cry and grown women beg. I didn't want a fight. I wanted annihilation. That evening, I came home early. She was in the kitchen, trying to act normal. Making pasta, like we were just going to sit down and forget the fact that she was carrying another man's child. How was your day? She asked, her voice light, fake. Fine, I said, taking off my jacket. You? She paused. Okay, I guess. Good, I nodded. Eat without me. I'm not hungry. I went into the bedroom and shut the door. I knew she was standing there, staring at the food, wondering who I'd become. Good. Let her wonder. Day 3, Slavko texted me. Bro, can we talk? I stared at the screen for a while. Bro. The audacity. I typed back one word. Soon. Because I wasn't done yet. That night, I found the old hard drive I hadn't touched in years. I started pulling up everything. Photos, videos, messages. Memories. I wasn't saving them. I was preparing to let go of everything we built. Because once I was done, there'd be nothing left for her to hold on to. By the 4th day, something in me shifted. I wasn't angry anymore. No rage, no shaking hands, no urge to shout. Just cold. Like stepping outside on a winter morning and realizing the wind doesn't bother you anymore. That's when I knew it was time. Time to face the man who screwed my wife. I texted Slavko. Come over. Tonight. 7 p.m. He replied almost instantly. Okay. Thanks, bro. Bro. The last time he called me that, we were sitting on my balcony, drinking beer, talking about life, about how nothing can break real friends. What a joke. 7 o'clock sharp, he knocked. I didn't answer right away. Let him sweat. Let him wonder if I'd changed my mind. Then, slowly, I opened the door. There he stood, same smug face, though now a little tighter, eyes darting like a man who knows he's already in trouble but hopes he can still talk his way out. Hey man, he said, forcing a weak smile. I stepped aside. Come in. He walked in, looking around like it was unfamiliar. Like this wasn't the place he'd sat 100 times, laughed 1,000 times. Like it wasn't the place he'd betrayed me. We sat down in the living room. I didn't offer him a drink. He cleared his throat. Listen, I want to say I'm sorry. I know I messed up. I wasn't thinking and it just... Cut the shit, Slavko. His mouth snapped shut. I leaned forward. How long? He looked down. Few months. Exact. 6. 6 months. 6 goddamn months. And the baby? He winced. I don't know. She said. She doesn't know either, right? He nodded. Of course. I sat back, watching him squirm. You know what's funny, Slavko? I trusted you more than anyone. You were like a brother. I would have taken a bullet for you. He didn't say anything. I continued. But you? You took my wife instead. Silence. Thick. Heavy. I get it, man, he finally muttered. I know I'm scum. I didn't plan for this. I smiled. For the first time in days. You didn't plan? I repeated, standing up. He looked confused. I walked over to the bookshelf, pulled out a folder, and tossed it on the table in front of him. What's this? Your consequences. Inside? Every message I'd pulled. Every photo. Every screenshot. Plus, a letter from my lawyer. Slavko flipped through it, his face draining of color. You're filing? I nodded. And you're listed. As the reason. He stood up, panicked. Come on, man. Don't do this. Get out. Oleg. Now. He stared at me, like he wanted to say more, to beg. But he didn't. He knew. He walked to the door, pausing only once to look back. I didn't flinch. When the doors shut behind him, I finally breathed. Not because it was over, but because the war had just begun. 2 days after I threw Slavko out, she found the papers. I didn't leave them out on purpose. But I didn't hide them either. They were sitting on the desk in my office, right where I'd left them the night before. A stack of truth, signed, stamped, and ready to burn down whatever fantasy she was still clinging to. I heard her footsteps the moment she saw them. Light at first, like she wasn't sure what she was walking into, then faster, angrier. She burst into the living room, holding the folder like it was a weapon. What the hell is this? I didn't even look up from the TV. You can read, can't you? Her face twisted. You're divorcing me? I finally looked at her. Really looked. Her hair was a mess, dark circles under her eyes, wearing one of my old t-shirts like that would soften the blow. Like she still had the right. Yes, I said. I am. You can't just. I can't. I cut her off. And I will. She stared at me, mouth opening and closing like she was trying to find the right words. But there weren't any. You don't have to do this, she finally said, softer now. We can fix this. I stood up. Calm. Steady. There's nothing to fix, Lena. You broke it. You broke me. And now you get to live with it. Tears welled up in her eyes. It was a mistake. No, I said, stepping closer. For 6 months, it was a choice. She flinched. And now, I added, I'm making mine. That night, I moved into the guest room. Not because I had to, because I wanted her to feel it. Every silent morning. Every empty space at the table. Every time she walked past the door and realized it was closed to her now. I wasn't the one begging anymore. And she? She was crumbling. Slavko? Gone silent. Good. Let him hide. Let him rot in whatever corner he crawled into. I didn't need to see him again. I had other things to take care of. Next step, the house. Legally, it was half hers. But emotionally? It was mine. Every wall, every floorboard, every goddamn memory. So I called my lawyer. How fast can we get her out? He laughed. You want her gone? Yesterday. We'll make it happen. By the end of the week, she'd been served. Eviction notice. Divorce papers. Full breakdown of assets. Her face when she read it? Priceless. She came into the kitchen, shaking, holding the documents. You're kicking me out? I nodded, sipping my coffee. Yeah. I'm pregnant. I met her eyes. Cold. Unmoved. Then you better call the father. She didn't leave right away. No, she clung to that house like it was the last piece of her crumbling world. Like if she stayed long enough, I'd change my mind. Like I'd forget. But I didn't. Every morning, I made coffee for one. Every night, I locked the door to the guest room. We didn't speak unless it was about logistics, bills, lawyers, when she'd be gone. Her voice, once sharp, once full of fire, had gone soft, uncertain. I could see it in her eyes, the weight of what she'd lost sinking in. And the clock was ticking. The pregnancy didn't protect her. It didn't stop the legal wheels from turning. Her lawyer called mine, trying to negotiate. Tried to paint her as the victim, the mother-to-be, the poor woman left behind. Mine didn't flinch. We have the evidence, he told me. Full admission. Infidelity clause in the prenup. She's entitled to nothing. Good. Let her feel what it's like to be empty. One evening, she cornered me in the hallway. I have nowhere to go, she said, voice barely a whisper. I looked at her, pale, tired, the sparkle long gone. Not my problem. Tears welled up. She reached for my arm, desperate now. Oleg, please. I made a mistake. I pulled away. You made a choice. She broke then. Fully. Right there, in the hallway where we used to laugh, used to kiss. She sank to the floor, sobbing. Holding her stomach like that would save her. I didn't move. Didn't offer a hand. I just stood there, watching her fall. The next morning, she was gone. No note. No goodbye. Just gone. Her closet empty, drawers cleared out. Only thing she left was that ultrasound picture on the kitchen table. I looked at it one last time. Then tossed it in the trash. Weeks passed. Silence returned. But this time, it was peaceful. No more lies. No more shadows. Just me. And freedom. Then one day, I got a message. From Slavko. We need to talk. I stared at it, thumb hovering over delete. But I didn't. Because some debts need to be settled face to face. I didn't reply right away. Slavko's message sat there, unread, like a bad smell in the room. Part of me wanted to ignore it, let him stew in his own guilt. But another part, the part that couldn't let this end without a final word, needed to see his face. Not for closure. For clarity. I wanted to look him in the eye one last time and see the truth. Not the lies. Not the excuses. Just the raw, pathetic man he really was. We met at a small bar on the edge of town. Neutral ground. I got there first, sat by the window, ordered a drink. No whiskey. No beer. Just black coffee. I wanted my head clear. At 7:12 he walked in. Slavko looked like hell, scruffy, sunken eyes like he hadn't slept since I threw him out. Maybe he hadn't. Good. He spotted me, hesitated, then came over. Sat down without a word. We sat there for a minute. Just breathing. Then I spoke. What do you want? He swallowed hard. To say sorry. I raised an eyebrow. You said that already? Yeah, but... I need you to know. I didn't mean for this to happen. I laughed. Not loud. Just enough. You didn't mean to screw my wife? He winced. I didn't plan it. You planned enough to keep it going for 6 months. He opened his mouth, then closed it. Good. Finally learning to shut up. I leaned in. You didn't just stab me in the back, Slavko. You came into my home, ate at my table, smiled at me while you were taking everything I gave a damn about. And for what? A thrill? A few nights of sneaking around like a coward? He looked down. Couldn't hold my gaze. I know, he whispered. No, you don't, I said. But you will. I slid something across the table. He looked at it. A bill. What's this? Half the lawyer fees, I said. Since you were such an active participant in this marriage, figured you'd want to chip in. His jaw dropped. You can't be serious. I'm always serious. He shook his head, eyes wide. Come on, man, this is crazy. No, I said, standing up. What's crazy is thinking you could destroy my life and walk away clean. I dropped a few bills for the coffee. One more thing, I added. He looked up. She's your problem now. I walked out into the night, breathing easier than I had in months. It was over. No more pretending. No more waiting. Just me. And a road wide open. A month later, the divorce was finalized. The house? Mine. The money? Safe. Her? A ghost. Slavko? Disappeared from my world like he never existed. And me? I started over. Not broken. Not bitter. Just free. Because sometimes you don't rebuild. You burn it down. And walk away from the ashes.